What is going on, everybody? It's Stas here. Welcome back to another video. So in today's video, we're going to be doing an overall market update, taking a look at the Dow Jones, the S&P 500, and the NASDAQ. We're also going to be doing a trading update, talking about what I personally did today in the markets, as well as some stocks and ETFs that I'm watching and looking to trade right now in the middle of January in 2020. And like you all read in the title, I want to talk about and focus on Beyond Meat a little bit in this video and talk about whether or not this dip we're seeing is opening up an entry point for maybe tomorrow or sometime in this week. But before we do get into all of these different topics, all I ask from you is if you enjoy this video, simply go down below for me and hit that like button. Also, consider subscribing to the channel if you want to see further content from me. And if you haven't heard about the Webull promotion that is currently being ran, if you use my affiliate link down below and deposit $100 into the account, you get 2 free stocks valued up to $1,400, which is free money at the end of the day, which you can use to trade with and invest with. So go down below in the description box, get your 2 free stocks with the deposit of $100. And if you do that, that helps out the channel, supports me for all the free content that I'm putting up here on YouTube. So without further ado, guys, let's talk about the S&P, the Dow, the NASDAQ. Then we'll get into what I personally did in the markets today. And let me tell you, my exit on one of these stocks was insane, and I'll show you a screenshot of that, which is insane timing on my part, which honestly, it was a bit lucky, so stick here in a couple of minutes. We'll go over that. So the S&P today was down $4.98 at the close, down 0.15%. And if we zoom in a bit here, you guys can see, despite the red day, we actually hit another all-time high at $3,294.25. And that was at about 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Then all of a sudden, boom, the SPX ended up dumping, and again we ended up closing down $5, down 0.15%. So if we drag out here to the hourly chart, we can see we are seeing a bit of a pull down here, right? We got a bit overheated. RSI got overbought on the S&P 500, and we're just continuing the pattern that we've been on over the past couple of weeks. Every time, and I talked about this in yesterday's video, guys, right? Every time we hit a higher high, we get a bit overheated. What do we do in the S&P? We pull down to that 50 SMA on the hourly chart, which, again, it seems like it is doing that right now. And take a look in the past. We've done it multiple times. Overheated, pull down. Overheated, pull down, right? Overheated, pull down. So for me, and, especially looking at, these futures, they're down after market hours. For me, I'm looking to see tomorrow, do we end up selling off heading into the open? Maybe we test that 50 SMA in the morning, and that could actually open up a dip buy in these markets that I might take advantage of using some of these leveraged ETFs that trade simply based off the markets, like SPXL, for example. This is one that tracks the S&P 500, and it goes up at a 3x leveraged rate whenever the S&P is going up. So this could be an option for that dip on the S&P 500. Another thing we could maybe do is, buy SQQQ, or not SQQQ, excuse me, guys, TQQQ, which goes up whenever, the NASDAQ goes up at a 3x rate. And speaking of the NASDAQ, this is what the chart is looking like for today's action. And let me pick up my Yahoo Finance app for you all. We ended up closing down $22.60 today, down 0.24% on the NASDAQ. And we can see we did, I believe, was that today? No, that was yesterday. Yesterday we hit an all-time high in the NASDAQ futures here at 9114.75. And you can see from that point, we pretty much ended up downtrending for, the remaining, really the past 24-ish hours, right? So going over here to the Dow Jones Industrial Average, this actually closed up green, $32.62, up 0.11%. And just like the S&P 500, the Dow Jones ended up hitting an all-time high today, $29,054.16, which is insane. And if we zoom out to the hourly chart, was today the first time ever that it cracked 29K? I believe so. Or was it not? Maybe it was not the first day. Actually, no, it was not the first day based on these charts. But nonetheless, it was an all-time high in the Dow Jones. We're pulling down, looking to test that 50 SMA just like the S&P 500. So keep an eye on this dip, guys. This could really be the continuation of the uptrend here if these markets end up pushing green tomorrow, maybe the next day, or maybe the next couple of days. So that's kind of the market update here. Nothing crazy. It was a pretty uneventful day out there in these markets. Just a simple pull down, a simple correction, and really the uptrend in the NASDAQ, the Dow, and the S&P is still intact. So let me know down below in the comments, what are your thoughts on the markets in general right now? S&P, Dow, NASDAQ, are they going higher? $30,000 Dow Jones. I actually want you to let me know about that. That's a huge milestone. Do we hit a 30K Dow Jones? Yes or no? Drop that comment down below in the comments section. So let's talk about what I did today. And again, what a day of trading for me. And you guys know how crazy yesterday was, and today was another one of those crazy days. So let's talk about that. Beyond Meat, ticker symbol BYND. You guys saw this stock was up yesterday nearly 20% at its peak. I believe it closed roughly 15-18% in the green from my memory here. And today, guys, believe it or not, we actually hit another 15, or was it up 17% in the green when it got all the way up to $135.23. And let me show you all that to give you all a better perspective, right? You know, you can see yesterday we closed at around $114. And you remember in my video yesterday, we talked about how Beyond Meat was already up, what was it, like another $6 after market hours. Then when I woke up this morning, guys, what was it up? It was another like $15 in the green. So this thing was not stopping, right? This is looking like a short squeeze. The move we saw this morning, it seems like a lot of shorts were covering, which is why we saw this massive push from 124 all the way up to 135, which ended up being a 8% move in the matter of a couple of minutes. And this is actually, guys, believe it or not, I'll have a screenshot right here to show you all where my limit filled with the little remaining shares that I had. This is where I filled at $135. No joke, this is probably the best timed entry, one of the best timed entries in the recent history for my trading. We can see, you know, we were rallying, and at this point, guys, my eyes were glued on Beyond Meat. And then by luck, by chance, I set a 135 limit order right around here because honestly, I saw the resistance at around 134. This is kind of why I did it, right? So I put a 135 limit just in case it popped up a little bit. I'd sell out of my remaining shares. And again, I'll have the screenshot here. You guys can see that is where I got out of this position. And I only bought into this position on Friday. On Friday, I bought in at around, what was it, like $94.26 if we're being exact. I actually sold out of some shares on Friday like an idiot, right? But I kept a lot of shares heading into yesterday. I sold the bulk of my position yesterday, but I still kept, you know, a smaller amount of the position, shares left over on the table, which is what you guys saw on the screenshot for this particular exit. So now I'm looking at this Beyond Meat as a potential re-entry play for me. I'm completely out of Beyond Meat. I locked in 40-50% gains, whatever it was, definitely 40%, maybe not 50, yeah, definitely not 50%, 30 to 40% roughly gains here, and that's ridiculous for 2 days, which is why I locked in those profits. So right now on Beyond Meat, I see this with the action going on here after hours and the way it kind of downtrended for the whole day here, moving averages being, you know, resistance levels. We're getting a bearish cross. This is looking like it may be selling down Worst case scenario, $108 to $110. And that is, honestly, if we wake up tomorrow, that is probably what will happen if we end up breaking 115. You guys see how 115 held very strongly today? One hold there, 2, 3, 4 different times. Even in the aftermarket session, we held 115. So keep an eye on that level. If that breaks and we fill down to 105, 108, 110, that is where I'm looking to strike and get back into Beyond Meat, because honestly, I still see potential in this stock, like I said yesterday, right? And although I'm not in it, I'm still long on the stock here, at least up to about 145 to 150. This is where I think in the very short term it can get to, right? Whether it's a week, 2 weeks, I believe it has potential. Am I saying it's definitely going to get there? No, I'm not some guy with the crystal ball here that's like, yes, Beyond Meat will be there in 2 weeks. No, I'm not. I'm not saying that, but I just think there is a lot of potential that it could, right? So right now, that's kind of my plans. I'm just looking for a pull down. If we get that, I have cash waiting for this position, guys. If we get that, I am definitely seizing the opportunity. But on the flip side, let's say we don't even gap down. Let's say we don't even pull down here and we start to pop back up pre-market. Another entry could be 125. I say if we pop above 125, that's kind of the resistance from today, sort of, right? A resistance now, at least from a couple months ago. From 125 up to 140, 45, that could be a nice tradable range of around 10 to 15%. And you can see we already ran a 135 yesterday. So the margin of profit, today actually, the margin of profit is there. So Beyond Meat, I know that was a bit longer of an update, but those are some thoughts right now. That's exactly what I ended up doing, and I locked in a sweet gain this week in the beginning of the week from Beyond Meat, which is always nice. So another thing I ended up doing today, guys, is I bought a little bit more Uber. Just on the beautiful consolidation that I've been seeing here. It was actually after this pop. We can see the consolidation at around $34 over the past couple of days. It's been very, very strong. And notice how it's kind of been an uptrend at the end of the day. 33.30 is this low. The next low is a bit higher at around 33.70, but nonetheless, it is a higher low. So this was a very good sign for me. And once I saw the pop today, that kind of solidified this 34 level as a higher low again. And I ended up buying a bit more shares. I believe it was at around $34.60. So Uber right now, I've been buying it, guys, recently pretty heavy ever since I sold out of my last position, which was last week, and probably now it's fully built. I'm going to wait here, and my goal sell target is around $36, I believe. Let me pull up this 4-hour chart. We'll be able to see it. Yup, around $36, and the goal is to get out of this before earnings. That's the goal right now. And that's earnings are, on the 6th of February in 2020. So overall, guys, in terms of my trading today, nothing much other than that. I'm holding Tesla. Tesla's another position that I'm up a lot on right now from Friday, ticker symbol TSLA. This one did very well, up another 2.5%, but I'm still holding this one. I might lock in later this week, and depending on if it runs up again, we'll see, or even if it dips, right? It might hit my trailing stop loss in tomorrow's session. We'll see how that ends up going. But Tesla, Uber, Beyond Meat is really the big winner of today. And honestly, from the beginning of this week so far in the first 2 days of trading. And with that, let me know down below in the comments, what did you guys do about that? What are your thoughts on some of my main holdings in my swing portfolio right now, being Tesla and Uber, and some other ones are PayPal, Activision. What else am I holding? Those are probably the main ones. So yeah, drop that comment down below. Now I have a list of stocks here that I want to talk about very quickly that I am not quite in yet and that I want to get in here and that I personally see potential in over these next couple of days. So Disney stock is the first one here on the list, and this one is still downtrending. It has not broken its trend quite yet, and that trend being this downtrend that you're really seeing from this red trend line. And you can see it's downtrending below the 50 SMA now and the 180 SMA, and it's fiddling with the $145 level of support here, which if it breaks, we've talked about in previous videos that this could fill the gap downwards to maybe $140, maybe down to $138, $137, which obviously gives it a lot of downside risk, right? But on the flip side, if we hold 145, this is kind of what I'm banking for here on Disney, and maybe the earnings report will bring out this move depending on if the earnings report is good. We all know last earnings report, you can clearly see it, Disney exploded, right? So this could be one where if you do play earnings reports, you've done your research, you are positive, well, not positive, no one's ever positive, but you're pretty sure Disney could be a good earnings play or have a good earnings report. This could be one where, hey, you may buy into the weakness here before earnings, hoping they have a good earnings report, and then you make a lot of money. Me personally, am I going to do that? Probably not. I don't really trade before earnings or really hold anything before earnings in terms of my short-term trades, but that's not to say that this can't happen before the earnings even come out. Maybe we get some hype around the earnings or whatever, that could bring a nice pop here in the stock, and that's kind of what I'm waiting for. Maybe from 146, if we break above 147 especially, that could be the break of this downtrend that I'm looking for to get into Disney and maybe ride it back up to about $153, being that all-time high resistance that we're seeing, and that would be a nice move of around 4% on the stock. So that's the first stock here, ticker symbol DIS. The next one is a Chinese company we talked about, I believe, on Sunday's video, and that is ticker symbol BILI, Bilibili. And you guys can see today, Bilibili was up 4%, up 88 cents, and it seems like we've confirmed the uptrend continuation here as we've held the 50 SMA over the past 3 days of trading, and on the 5-day 5-minute chart, you guys can see higher lows, higher highs are being made, and today's close on top of yesterday's resistance as a new support was a very bullish close. So for me, I'm looking for Bilibili here to make this move from about $23 up to about $24.50. This is the tradable range that I'm seeing right now on Bilibili, and it's very simple, guys. Tomorrow, take a look. If we break above $23, we break above this resistance, that's where I'm looking to enter into Bilibili. Very simple. I think a lot of momentum will come in there, a lot of volume, and, I'll set my alert right now just so I don't forget tomorrow morning. Where is it, guys? Here it is. Create alert, Bilibili at or above, let's say $23. It'll alert me there, and then I'll be able to create the order and buy the stock if I want to, right? So that's another one, ticker symbol BILI. So the next one I want to talk about here is United Health Group, ticker symbol UNH, and they're actually reporting earnings tomorrow on the 15th of January. And although I'm not very knowledgeable on this company, this is actually a request from a subscriber to talk about this, stock on the channel. I'm still going to cover it, even though I'm not too knowledgeable. We'll talk about some EPS and revenue estimates very quickly that, really could fluctuate this stock, because we can see it was battered down over the past 6 months. Well, not really the past 3 months, but if we're looking at the 6-month perspective, it was battered down from July down to about October, from about 250 to 212. It hit a killer earnings report, and that sent the stock on this ridiculous tear. So what are the analysts looking for here on ticker symbol UNH? The consensus EPS estimate is $3.78, which would be a 15.2% year-over-year increase, and the consensus revenue estimate is $61.17 billion, which would be a 4.7% year-over-year increase. And you guys can see here, the stock is actually seeing a bit of a dip heading into the earnings report. So this is actually setting up a good opportunity if the earnings report ends up being positive. And if you believe it'll be positive, maybe you want to buy in on the dip here, you can end up doing that if you play earnings reports. Again, I don't do that, but if you are a person that does that, this could end up being a nice opportunity if you believe the earnings report will be good. So from where 300 leveled off at to where we are now, that's about a 4 or 5% sell-off. So watch this 180 SMA. That's what I would personally do heading into tomorrow's session. And a lot of the time with stocks that have earnings, let's say after market hours, the price action during the day will kind of tell you in a way the psychology behind what the traders and the investors are doing out there and kind of what they expect for the earnings report. And a lot of the time, the options market will tell you that as well, but that's a whole different topic for a whole nother video. So let's say tomorrow, UNH, you start to see some, more of this consolidation and a rally back upwards. That could be a signal that, hey, people are buying up before the earnings report. Maybe the earnings report is going to be a hit, but that doesn't mean it's 100% going to be a hit. And on the flip side, if people are selling, locking in profits, we end up breaking the 180 SMA, the stock ends up seeing a bit of a correction, that could signify people might not want to hold their earnings. The earnings may be rough. The stock may drop even more after earnings, and people just want to lock in the profits. And that's kind of how I view all of these stocks around earnings. A lot of the time you see Tesla rising before earnings, maybe some of these hype stocks rising, falling before earnings, and this is something you definitely have to keep an eye on if you are looking to short-term trade here in the stock market. So that's kind of my opinion here on UNH. Although I don't know too much about the company itself, that's kind of a technical breakdown and a little side tangent on what stocks do before earnings, and you can kind of see based on the psychology what people are thinking the stock is going to do, not necessarily that it will do that, right? So the next one here is going to be Realty Income. This is one that I really don't talk about on the channel too much, but it's actually, from a technical perspective, opening up a nice dip buy. We actually confirmed the bottom at about $71, which is nice. That's actually us holding an old resistance as a new support from a couple months ago. Now we actually confirmed a higher high and a higher low on top of that 50 SMA a couple days ago, which is good. So for me now to enter into ticker symbol O, let's go on the 10-day chart. We'll be able to see it. I'd need to see a break simply above $75. That's where I'd consider it, because you guys can see on on Monday, we saw trouble there. And also last week on the 7th, we saw trouble at $75. So for me, $75 is going to be, the area that I'd consider buying in some ticker symbol O. And I'd personally trade it up to about $76.50, sell some under this 180 SMA, and if it were to pop above, maybe add more and really just hold on to the other shares that I didn't end up locking in at the resistance right here. So those are my thoughts on ticker symbol O. Netflix is the next one, ticker symbol NFLX. You guys can see this one broke up yesterday, I believe, and now we're seeing a dip and looking to hold on that 338, 340 level of old resistance as a new support. I personally did not enter into Netflix today because I want to see a significant rally back up into the 340s before entering. But from 340 up to about, what's the next level here? If we go on the yearly chart, we'll be able to see it. But from 340 up to about 380-ish, we can see a potential move here of around 10%. And this is an interesting opportunity, a potential call option opportunity that I'm thinking about here on ticker symbol NFLX. So to end off the video, let's talk about gold very quickly. /GC is the ticker for those of you guys that don't know. Gold is actually at a level now of old resistance at 1550, and this is interesting, guys, because a massive gap of profit has been opened. From 1613 down to about 1550. That was about a 4% opening of profit. And the funny thing is, gold has seen a pull down here, but honestly, the overall trend is still up. You guys can see it again. 1550 was kind of that high we were stuck at a couple months ago. Now, if we hold it, I believe JNUG, which is a 3x leveraged ETF that tracks GDX, which is pretty much just an ETF itself that tracks gold, I think JNUG is going to be an awesome opportunity here. You can see we're actually holding a 180 SMA support on the 4-hour chart, which puts JNUG at a higher low here. And it's even uptrending after hours, and it saw a 7% day today, which is a pretty good sign. And especially since, again, GC is holding 1550. So right now, gold on the hourly chart especially, I'd need to see it fully break into the 1560s for me personally. 1570s even better before even considering taking a position in JNUG. And what do you guys think about gold? If you were to put a price target on gold, would it be closer to, let's say, $1,000 or closer to $2,000? That's the next question I want you to answer. The first one being, will the Dow Jones hit 30,000 bucks? And I might start asking you guys questions that I just am curious about, what your thoughts are in the comments. So feel free, don't be shy to drop that comment down below. And yeah, we'll just end off the video here. So if you enjoyed the video, hit that like, consider subscribing to the channel, and again, comments down below. And don't forget to claim your 2 free stocks from Webull with a simple $100 deposit using my affiliate link down below. And those 2 free stocks will be valued up to $1,400, which is crazy. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for the support. As always, I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace out.